What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the Thomas Gallery, and today I want to talk about artists using photo references. Pretty much what a photo reference is when you use an image, an already like a photograph, a picture, to help you or guide you in kind of like modeling. Okay, like if you want to draw a character a certain position, you may use an actual image as kind of a guide, a reference to help you with that. And to be clear, I use photo references, not all the time, but I use them. I use them at times. I may take an image that I may need to help guide me in a certain position that I'm looking for, or to get a guide on like certain lighting of the image, and I may use a photo reference to help me with that. But the reason why I came up with this subject is because I've heard people over the years kind of go against that. They really don't like that. They think no, it should always be it's always be from your mind, and all your ideas should be from your mind, your own creation. And I have no problem with that. I really don't, because I would say 98% of all of my artwork is constructed in my mind, every single detail. And I only use photo references if I'm looking for something specific. If I'm looking for a particular pose, and I want to really get the best, like, how do I really capture this particular mood, this particular pose? Like, I've used photos if I want to get the best image of a sunset. Like, what would be the best way to make a sunset to get that mood that I'm looking for in a painting? I may use a photo for that. Many of my favorite artists use photo references, like my comic book artist Alex Ross. He uses photo references. He uses references from pictures that he may have taken or pictures he may see in a magazine, and use those as a reference to guide him with his idea, to help him. He may be stuck on a particular part of the artwork, and he may use a photo reference to lean on that will help him really capture his idea. Because there may be an idea that you may have in your head, but the image that you have in your mind, you're trying to get the best version of that onto the paper, onto the canvas. So what you want to do is, you want to know, if I can't come up with it in my mind, I'm pretty sure that there's somebody on the planet throughout time and in history that has had the same quandary and has thought to. They may take an image of it, they may have done a painting of it, and they may have cracked the code, so to speak, on how to get this particular image. Now, here I come along with an idea, and everything is going right, everything is going smooth, except for I may have a particular pose that I want to capture. But my mind has it, but my hand, when I put pencil to paper or ink to paper or paint to canvas, my hand isn't bringing out what my mind is conceiving. So I may go to a photo to reference that, so I can say, okay, this is the image that I have in my mind. This is what I'm looking for. This is the best version of that, and I'm going to use this image to assist me in bringing forth this idea. Now, once I have this image in my mind, and once I have the composition down, now my idea is fully realized. All I have to do is fill it in with color or pen or ink or pencil, stuff like that. So I mean, I never saw anything wrong with using a photo reference. I mean, yeah, granted, Leonardo da Vinci didn't have it because they didn't have cameras back then. I'm pretty sure, actually, it saves a lot of time. It saves a lot of time on models. If you have a photo reference or if you have a camera, you don't need to have the model right there in front of you anymore. Now, granted, there's nothing like the actual living person in front of you. There's nothing like having the idea come 100% from you. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, I love that. I like to do it most of the time. But times will change. I mean, when the invention of the camera came along, the artist had to find a way to adjust. The artist can now say, okay, I don't need to have the model, whether the model be clothed or nude, I don't need to have the model sit here for 3 to 5 or more hours in this one position, body aching, sore. I can just ask the model to sit or stand or lay in whatever position that I desire for the piece, or whatever position they desire for the piece. Take some photos, pick out the best one that we both agree on, and then I recreate that. You know, that's just technology. I mean, the world of comic books got a whole lot better when you were able to take pictures and use those pictures as references. Like if you can paint very well to the point where you can make the painting look as close to the actual photograph or real life image as possible, it's great. Portraits have become a whole lot better. Just think about the portraits that Michelangelo's done and Donatello's done and and Leonardo has done during the Renaissance. Just think of all the portraits that that Matisse came up with, or Monet or Manet. Imagine all the portraits that they've done, or Van Gogh. Imagine a Vincent Van Gogh piece if he was able to take a picture of himself and use it as a photo reference. Now it's still, his work is still good, but imagine how accurate he could have been. Imagine how accurate the Mona Lisa could have been had Leonardo da Vinci had a camera to take a picture of the actual model. Hell, we might know who the model is to this day. We might know who the model is. So, nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it at all. I mean, I would say apply this to play devil's advocate. I would say if you solely rely on photo references, then I can understand somebody saying, okay, where's your creativity? I mean, there's still creativity in it, but I'll play devil's advocate. If 100% of your work is coming from a photograph, it's coming from something that's already been created or made, and all you're doing is recreating it, and that's all you do, if that's all you do, then I would say, okay, all right, you obviously have skills. You obviously have some kind of painting skills. You have some kind of drawing skills. You have skills, okay? But where is your creativity? Where is your creativity? Can you take that which is already made or that was already created, and can you elevate it? Can you add something to this particular image that the photograph did not capture? Can you add to it? Or are you just taking the image and just putting the image on paper or putting the image on canvas and not adding something to it? If that's all you do 100% of the time, then I can say, okay, all right, because as an artist, the creativity is what's key. The creativity is what drives the artist. Okay? The ability to take something that did not exist and put it into and manifest it. Or to take something that does exist and elevate it in your own way. That's a skill. To take that which already exists and elevate it. That's why you have Leonardo da Vinci or, guys like Basquiat, things of that nature. They took things that already existed, that already were around, and they elevated it. They took what already existed. They took what they saw, what they encountered, whether it be a person or a place or thing. They took what already existed, and they said, okay, this image in my mind will look like this. Okay? Now, they obviously can take an image that is already made and they can recreate it. They have that skill for it. But most of their work is taking things that already exist and elevating it, or creating something that did not exist prior, and through their body and through their minds and their hands and their skills, manifest it. Okay? They had other skills. But I said, to play devil's advocate, if all you do, I'm saying this, if all you do is take what already exists and copy it on paper and on canvas, then I can understand that people question you. Then I can understand it. I get it. Okay? I get it. That's the only scenario I can think of where I can understand somebody having an issue. But if you know and if you show and you can prove that you have other skills, that you don't have to solely rely on a photo, if you say, I don't need this photo, I use it, however, as a reference. Or if you say I'm doing recreation, fine. But if you could do more than that, fine. But if all you do is take what was made and then recreate it, if all you do and you don't add anything to it, if you don't take what is made and elevate it, then all right, then I can understand people having a gripe. Okay. But it's interesting. I mean, I use photo references. I use it. I use it in my paintings, but it may be one part that I may use a photo on. But everything else is my own creation. Or I may draw a character that is already known. But if I say I'm doing like fan art, then okay, then that's obviously. But I know I don't have to rely on a photo to create. I don't have to rely on it. My skills are sufficient enough where I can take that which is made and do something else with it. Okay? So, thank you all for listening. Hope you enjoyed my little rant, if you want to call it that. Leave a comment down below. Like, comment, subscribe, and share. And I will catch you all later. Peace.